Hello everybody and welcome back to A Game of No Halves. My name is Miles. I'm joined to my left hand side by my father Bob. Hello Bob. And this is the podcast where we explore the weird and wonderful world that my dad has created, where you are the owner of a football team, but they don't actually exist, do they?
Well, they are the most successful football team in European competition history.
Yes, that's true. And if you joined us for the last couple of episodes, you would have heard a brief history of North London and how it all came about. It is a crazy concept, and I think gradually the audience is starting to be introduced into the slight screw loose that you have to be able to do this.
The world of North London.
So last episode, we left off, we just finished the season. You just smashed the World Club Championship.
Yes.
You're champions of Europe. Everything was going great.
Yes.
So we're entering the summer transfer window. So when you get to the end of a season, and I suppose you've got a few months off, the World Club Championship's not happening this year, are you like plotting in your head the moves that you're going to make for various players across the transfer window? Yeah.
In fact, the thing about managing a football team like this,
which you have vast experience of.
obviously, is that I got to a point at one stage where I thought about very little else.
Okay. Yeah.
Because, as you know, Miles, I like walking.
Yeah.
And I'd be out walking and I'd be planning in my head the tactics for the following Saturday or Sunday's game.
Yeah.
And in particular, when I was falling asleep,
Okay.
I could just...
So rather than counting sheep, you're sort of counting your players, making a formation.
Formations, who's going to be doing what changes I might make in the team, depending upon who we're playing this coming weekend or whatever it is. So as a therapy, if you like, this was a superb, has been all these years, fantastic therapy.
Wonderful. I mean, obviously, I likened it in the first episode, I think, but basically what you've done is you've created yourself a football manager game, but in actual real life and in your head at the same time.
Which in real life,
It's quite amazing. In real life, yes, yeah. I always find it hilarious, like thinking of us all asleep upstairs and you just slightly high, kicking the ball around downstairs, imagining your Zidane.
Yes, the matches always seem. I always used to seem to play better when I've had a glass of wine and an edible.
Yeah. So in the dressing room beforehand, you'd just be dishing them out to players.
I would.
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure that would pass.
A bit like Brian Clough with pints of beer.
Different times, eh? So the season we are about to go into is 2002 to 2003.
Yes.
I remember the season quite well. So we're both Manchester United fans, and in real life, this is the season we won the league. Ruud van Nistelrooy was an absolute beast this year. And actually, it transpires in between recording last episode and this.
Yes.
I delved back into my own sort of world of football and rediscovered Championship Manager from this season, which I have started playing and taken charge of Manchester United. So actually, I'm looking down at the squad list for this year and recognise a few of these players. So 2002, 2003. So the summer transfer window has been and gone.
Yes.
We've got some ins and outs.
Okay.
And one name strikes me straight away as somebody that I'm extremely sad to see the back of, and that is Macaulay, who was
Paul Macaulay.
Paul Macaulay in real life. Explain to the audience who this guy actually was.
Well, the team, I know we've explained this a bit before, but it is a mix of actual football players and people that around us would be
kind of
kicking the football around in the garden with Miles and his brother Dylan, and or would be somebody I would see on the village green. Or,
this is literally like going on FIFA and, joining Manchester United and creating yourself and putting them in the team, but you've done it with other people too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so as well as being the manager, I'm the chief scout.
Wow. Yeah. A lot of responsibility.
So it is. Paul Macaulay was our next door neighbour. He lived in Marshbold.
Did you actually see him play football at any point?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we used to kick around.
Okay, fine.
Well, we had the green right by us.
Yeah.
So we'd be out there kicking a football. And
nice.
he
showed some
big
talent.
Guy, about 6'5". He was plan B, if you know what I mean. Because, the big number 9.
Yeah, fair.
So, because I like building, I keep the ball on the ground all the time. It's very rare I launch the ball, or,
no long balls being played at North London.
No long balls. No. But with Paul Macaulay, he gave me that option.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
So, but he only came in last season, didn't he? Because I remember him coming into the team and did quite well.
He did quite
Scored
well.
a few goals, but you've decided to ship him out again.
Yeah, but I've had
he's
one or
off.
two of the number 9s like that through the years.
Well, I think actually I'm looking at the transfers. So transfers out. Martin,
goalkeeper.
right? Maldini's gone. I'm assuming he's retired maybe, or he's just got a bit too old.
Yeah.
Boban,
Boban,
Babangida, and Healy have all left.
Babangida, brilliant Nigerian right winger.
Yeah. Anyway, so they've all left the club
Yeah.
in this summer transfer window. It's a big transfer window for the Inns, though. So coming in, Carsten Ramelow, who it says here is a central defender who's played 46 times for Germany.
Yes.
So you've bolstered the
Because I
defense.
felt, and I also felt, although the team had just won the World Club Championship, there were certain aspects.
You were runners-up in the league, weren't you? And so there were still things that...
I wanted to slightly tighten up the midfield and give it just a little bit more punch.
Yeah, because he could play centre-back and central midfield, I suppose, couldn't he?
Yeah, he could play defensive midfield as well as centre-back.
You've brought in Flowers, who I assume is Tim Flowers, the keeper, on loan.
I suppose it would have been, it would have been.
Now, this is so...
I'm not sure how I would have been able to do that because one of the rules...
Are you questioning your own rules here?
I am, actually, with Tim
So
Flowers.
Tim Flowers...
Because one of the rules that obviously we know...
He came in as number 13. He's 36 at this point. It must be the keeper.
It must be that somebody...
Maybe he was like almost about to retire or something.
Because I'm not allowed to choose players that are already playing...
in the Premier League.
For other Premier League teams.
Fair enough. Because he was Blackburn, wasn't he, for a long time?
Yes,
Tim
he
Flowers.
was. So I think that must have been it. He was out of contract.
Yeah. So
I snapped him up for it.
Fair enough. I mean, you need a backup goalkeeper for me.
Yes.
I'm the number one, of course,
Miles
at
is
North London. In fact, my golden gloves are literally on display back here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
If you're watching. So Macaulay's left the club, and in his place has come Diego Tristan.
Oh, now there were a couple of signings through the years.
Yeah.
That proved to be absolute genius
Inspired signings.
Almost, really kind of unexpected.
Okay.
That they would do even better than I expected that they would.
Yeah.
Riquelme, I always
Riquelme.
say.
So he
is
must,
one of my favourite
Yeah,
signings
he must come into the
all
team
time.
in a few seasons' time as to where we are right now, I guess.
But Diego Tristan...
So he was a big striker. He played for Deportivo La Coruña in Spain.
Yeah. Thing about Diego Tristan was he was that lovely combination of strength and size and skill.
Yeah.
And he was very, very good in the air. Not only did he give us the skill on the ground option, you could... Because
you could launch some stuff to him if you need to.
One of the things that's changed about the style of football over the last 20 or 25 years, in fact, during the sort of lifetime of the Premier League, is the fact that in the early days of the Premier League, and you saw it particularly with United, teams would attack the byline and cross. Crossing was much more of a thing in those days than it is now.
Yeah,
I mean, you see nowadays because teams endlessly
you'd be playing with two strikers a lot back then as well, wouldn't you? So there'd be more options in the box, whereas now it's kind of based around wingers and being able to cut inside, and you want to play with one striker.
You play with a winger on the right who is left-footed.
Yeah, Mo Salah and Sadio Mane for Liverpool being a prime thing of this. Anthony for United, yeah.
But in those days, the idea was that the winger went on the outside and pulled the ball
and crossed,
back and crossed, and crossing was a much bigger thing. Now we see teams playing endlessly in front of the opposition around, and I'm thinking to myself so often, why don't you cross it? You've got 4 or 5 people in the box. Why don't you cross it?
Well, this is interesting because philosophy-wise, you were saying how you like to keep the ball on the floor a lot.
Yeah.
So, but it's sort of build up to a dangerous crossing position rather than just launching it up there, is it?
That's right, exactly. And there comes a moment when you can cross,
Yeah.
and so often you see teams nowadays not taking that option, but either cutting back outside again or passing backwards to the right back, or maybe they cross from a not so good angle. So in those days, crossing was a very, very big thing. So having Diego Tristan as my target,
the fulcrum to this. Yeah, okay, fair enough. So he's come in now, and then what looks to be the biggest signing, I would say, of the transfer window, Ronaldinho has joined the club from PSG. So in real life, I suppose this would have been the transfer window where he actually went to Barcelona, I would assume.
Does it say how much I paid for him?
It doesn't actually, no.
Because later on
but it does say on loan to PSG, January 2003.
Well, he came in, and of course, you could really make a case at the time for him being the most brilliant footballer in the world.
Well, he became it at Barcelona. I honestly do think actually that version of Ronaldinho, that those first sort of 3 years at Barca, I don't think there's a better player ever to watch than that Ronaldinho.
But you know what he did? He brought out the disciplinarian in me.
Okay,
because
he's too much of a party boy, was he?
He was.
Well, so when you say on loan to PSG,
I let him go on loan.
So he was
a disruptive influence in the dressing room.
So you're there before the game handing out edibles to everybody, and yet Ronaldinho has been sent on loan.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Basically.
So I think what happened, it says on loan to PSG January 2003. So I think what you did is you signed him, had him for 6 months, and got so pissed,
he's
pissed off with him.
full of goals for me as well.
And still you decided to send him off on loan.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
I mean, it was the same like when Zidane decided that he wanted to go to Real Madrid. I let him go, despite the fact that I really, really wanted to keep him, and he was so brilliant. But he wanted to go, so I let him go.
So did Ronaldinho want to go?
No, not necessarily, but he was a disruptive.
His eye was off the ball.
So, yes.
So in your life at this present time then,
yes,
2002, 2003. So myself, I would be 10, 11.
10, yeah.
What was going on in your life at this point?
I was at Radio 2. I was doing the late night show in the evening on Saturday night. And the country show.
On game day?
On game day, yeah. So it's a demanding day for me because I had to rush.
Got to play 90 minutes to go to the radio.
Yeah, to the studio. Sometimes only just made it in time. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, yeah, great. So yeah, I would have been 10. In the real game here, I'm 23 years old. Yes. I'll say the real game. This isn't the real game at all. Well, it is. I suppose.
Well, it is, yeah.
So I'm 23.
Yeah.
Am I still? I'm number one keeper, aren't I? Even at this point in my early career, I went straight into number one. Did I?
Between the sticks when you were about 18 years old. So
okay, great. Yeah. So the first thing that happens in this season, you got a pre-season tournament in Amsterdam. The first game in which you smash PSV 5-1 and Ronaldinho scores 2.
Yes.
So he's made an impact straight away.
Yeah. This is before I'd opened up the big training complex
in Portugal, which we touched on last time.
Yeah, because we just had our family holiday in Portugal.
No, it was this. Oh, yeah, because it was around the Club World Championship, right?
That's right. And
okay. that was the thing that sparked the idea.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
But I haven't actually, it hasn't been built.
Construction is taking place right now. Okay.
That's right. So our pre-season is in Amsterdam.
Amsterdam. Yeah. Yes, it was. And it looked like it was a little league table thing, which you finished top. No, hang on. Second. Barcelona finished top. You were 2 points off them. You drew with AC Milan and drew with Barcelona. And beat PSV. So 5-1, Diego Tristan on his debut got 2, Ronaldinho on his debut got 2, Ben Harris, who's my older brother, got 1 on the 88th minute. 2-2 against AC Milan, Fonseca and Rebrov.
Right.
And
Fonseca,
1-1 with Barcelona, Fonseca with another one in that game.
Right.
So yeah, you finished second in the group. And then the season started, first of all, you had a Community Shield trip in which you lost to Arsenal, Bob.
What was the makeup of the team? Was I putting in one or two of the fringe players?
It says first defeat in 14 games, including Club World Championship. Yeah, the team. I mean, I wasn't starting in goal, so for a start.
Oh, well, there we are.
Yeah, you know.
Porous defence.
Yeah, exactly. What do you expect? Disappointing performance, losing to 87th minute Hofland own goal. Can you tell me how on earth do you score an own goal when you're kicking a foam football around in the corridor?
Well, no, I would have probably taken a shot and it would have, I don't know, ricocheted off a chair leg or something.
Diverted it in.
That would be an own goal, yeah.
So Hofland with the own goal to lose the Charity Shield, which is very upsetting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it seems we're being beckoned down the tunnel for a half-time break. Bob, should we hear from our sponsors?
No, wait, there's probably another minute of extra time to go. There was the injury to David Bennett.
I think maybe we should cut to the break.
Okay, all right.
So the Premiership season starts. You drew with Man United away, 3-0 win against Leeds, a draw with Arsenal away, and a hard-fought 3-2 victory at Fulham leaves you in 4th place with 4 games played. The Fulham game, actually, you were 2-0 down at half-time, but you revert to 4-2-3-1 and immediately look more balanced.
Is that what I put?
Zidane makes his first appearance of the season, so he must have had a little injury or something, I guess.
Well, this was the other thing. I was very conscious of the fact that occasionally players just need to take a little bit of a break.
I suppose he played the whole Club World Championship.
Played the Club World Championship. You have to sort of balance that. And again, I must say my template for that was in the middle of the treble-winning season. United let Peter Schmeichel go on holiday for 10 days.
Yeah, I remember that.
And the transformation, because he had lost form.
Yeah.
and the transformation when he came back. And I think also when you've got a manager that individually is assessing the needs of
looking
particular
after
players.
his players. Yeah.
I think it gives the whole group the sense that you've got their back. So with Zidane, I thought he needed a bit of a break.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he's a little bit behind the pre-season.
You got the sense from Zidane in your head that he just needed a bit of a break.
Yeah. Yes. So then we want to put him through full pre-season.
Yeah, of course. So it took him a second to get back into the full swing.
So he had to just catch up with everybody else.
Yeah, fine. So that was in the 3-2 victory. Zidane making his first appearance of the season. He was replaced by Ben Harris in the 84th minute, actually. But yeah, so fourth in the league going into the start of September. 1-0 win away at West Ham. An Ian Giggs goal in the 65th minute. 3-1 win against Southampton. Missed many chances after going ahead. Tristan's got his 9th and 10th goal of the season already.
He's already.
This is 6 games in and he's got 10 goals in the Premier League.
This is Erling Haaland style stats here, yeah.
I mean, I suppose in terms of a player, they're not dissimilar.
They're not.
Next game is a 0-0 draw at Liverpool. I'm intrigued about the fact that Dowdle is carried off injured early in the game, out for 4 weeks with a foot injury.
Yes.
So what would have happened there?
Well, I probably stubbed my toe on the chair in the sitting room. And
Right.
depending upon how much it hurt me, I would decide how long that player was out injured.
So 4 weeks, so this must have been a pretty decent stub.
Yeah, no, it was.
What was the worst injury you ever had? Can you remember if there were any really bad ones you've had whilst
Broken
playing?
toe, of course.
Broken toe?
Yeah, well, that was in Portugal, wasn't it?
Oh, he touched in this
During
last
the World Club. Yeah.
Wow.
Where's Dexter?
Oh no, yes.
Yeah,
Where's
broken
Dexter
toe.
was out for so long.
He was out for months.
Yeah.
So that's
that
my
was
most
that was the worst
potent
one.
Forward injured. Yeah.
Just going for an absolute cannon shot and just kick the table leg or something.
Yeah.
Nasty stuff.
Yeah. I remember we had a little swimming pool there, didn't we? And I was constantly doing this with my foot, trying to make my bloody toe feel better in the hope that maybe Wes Dexter might regain fitness.
That was the extent to your physiotherapy. It was just hovering your toe in the
hydro
pool.
miles.
What, flicking your toe around in the swimming pool?
Yeah.
I don't know whether that counts. So you're now third in the table at the end of September. Following fixtures, 4-0 at home to Blackburn.
Yeah.
2-0 away to Newcastle. So you're really coming into form here. 3-1 against Birmingham. But then a 3-2 loss against Chelsea away, which ends your 15-match unbeaten run.
Yes. Well, Chelsea were just starting to get good then, weren't they?
02-03, yeah. That must be...
I don't think Mourinho had arrived just yet, had he?
I don't know.
But certainly the team were beginning
I'm
to
thinking
look...
that sort of time is like, Hernan Crespo, Adrian Mutu.
Yeah,
they're starting to
it
splash the cash a little bit.
Starting to look, Trevor Nelson's a massive Chelsea fan, and he and I, at the end of my show on Thursday evenings when I finished at 10, because Trevor's just starting his show, always, I go down to the studio to see him for a few minutes at the beginning of his programme, and we always talk football. Yeah. He comes into the control room, and it's United and Chelsea, that's who we talk about. And of course, the progress of North London, because the
Do you talk to him about it?
The London derbies. No, I don't actually.
You're too embarrassed to talk to him about it.
Well, in fact, I'm going to have to.
I hate to break it to you, Bob, but there will be people listening to this podcast that are going to find out about this.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Well, Trevor, we ought to get Trevor on.
Trevor would be great. Yeah. Trevor, if you're ever up for it, then come on the show.
Yeah.
Because obviously, in your actual work life, in real life, you are a radio presenter predominantly. So you never have ever touched upon this world
on air.
I
don't want people to think I'm stupid. No, I haven't. No. Well, only because it would take such a long time. I mean, what are we now? With the third podcast into this series. Yeah. And we're still in the process of explaining how
all
it all
the
works.
Nuances to everything. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I know.
It really does take a bit of explaining.
I would love to just one day on your show just randomly burst into North London stuff. It'd be amazing. Okay, so table-wise, we're at the start of October. You're in second place now, 2 points back off Arsenal. Following on from that, a 4-0 win against Aston Villa. Diego Tristan amongst the goals again. Then another 4-0 win against Everton. And then another 4-0 win against Man City.
He scored goals.
He did score goals.
He scored goals.
Yeah, Ronaldinho's got a couple of that time. Yeah.
The whole thing about our approach. And you see, the thing is, it's this interchangeability of the players in defence that creates the platform for us to be able to attack.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing is you're training the players to play. It's like total football.
Yeah.
You know, the Holland idea of total football.
Yeah.
So if you've got a centre-back, let's say, I keep going back to Freddie Haynes, but he is the template.
I can't wait for Freddie Haynes to join the squad because we've talked about him so much already.
Yes.
It's going to be worth it, guys, when he comes through the academy. Going into December, you're still second by 2 points, looking better. However, 2 0-0 draws follow up after that against Bolton and Middlesbrough. It's a lack of form.
What was the team then? Were there injuries?
Team's looking good. No, against Middlesbrough. I'm in goal. You've got Cannavaro, Ramelow, Hoffland, and Fuser. Sorry.
Yeah.
Across the back line. You got Ben Harris and Casaro in midfield with Figo, Ronaldinho, and Giggs, and then Larson up front. So you did give.
That's Henry Class. Then.
Yeah. So you did
and that
give
was before
Tristan a bit.
He joined United, I think.
Yeah.
But also, Miles, if you see, there's the list of subs.
yeah.
And whatever injuries, there's a list of injuries
so nothing. Those 0-0s were just no notes on them at all.
Oh, really?
Apart from the subs, yeah.
What subs? Who came on?
Robert Fonseca came on for Ronaldinho in the 77th minute, but apart from that, so not a lot.
See,
going
I think
on.
the other thing with Ronaldinho was
is this in your world or in the real world?
in my world.
Okay, yeah.
And so fitness levels begin to kick in.
Yeah.
And however skillful,
I do think in real life, that's what I was saying. Those first 2-3 years at Barca, he was in good shape and he did keep himself in good shape.
Yeah.
So you're sort of, this is predating.
I'm sort of preempting it. But also with the young players coming through, he was not a good role model.
Yeah.
It's terrible, isn't it? But
what about Eric Cantona and stuff? I mean, obviously, I know he wasn't much of a partier, but he had a bit of a side to him, didn't he? Anyway, the 2-0 draws are then followed up with a 4-2 victory over Aston Villa. So you're back on form.
Yep.
Figo and Larson with a brace each. That's good. So you are missing Diego Tristan. Diego Tristan is nowhere to be seen in the squad. Maybe he's gone for a rest somewhere or got a knock. Anyway, come the 15th of December, North London, back where they belong. Top of the league.
Top of the table.
2 points above Arsenal with a game in hand.
With a game in hand.
So things are going well. You then beat Spurs 3-2, 3-0 win against Sunderland, and then a 3-3 draw with Arsenal. Diego Tristan's back in the team. He's got 3 goals in those 3 games.
Yes.
Things are looking good. Yes. And then you follow it up at the end of January with a 5-0 thrashing of Charlton Athletic. Dowdle in the 44th minute gets his 100th goal for the club.
Wow.
Which is incredible, actually.
Yes, it is, Jim Dowdle.
This is the stuntman, right?
This is the stuntman,
yes.
Yeah. And funnily enough, I was at Radio 1 reunion a little while ago, and my original producer, the producer who took me into Radio 1 in the first place in 1970, Jeff Griffin,
who was in the team, right?
His son was in the team.
That's right. Sorry.
Sorry. Right back. His son was a really good player.
So, right, when you're picking players to go in the team, does it have to be people that you've met in person? Like, so, if you're creating a team and you see Tom Cruise is kicking a ball around when he's offset on a Mission Impossible film, do you then think I could sign him? That's too unrealistic.
Now you're being silly, Boss. I mean,
But did that ever happen? Did you ever see? I mean, did you, apart from obviously real footballers, did you sign anybody that you hadn't met before? Was it, or at least hadn't seen with your actual eyes in real life? Was there anybody that you?
No,
you always had to have scouted in person.
Like, for example, this young lad who was playing on the Village Green on the wing. He was just fabulous, and I just did not get a chance to talk to anybody about who he was.
Well,
and so
how do you? So you're standing on the touchline watching me play a Sunday league game, and you go up to the manager and just be like,
"What's the name of that boy?
Who's that guy? Can I sign him for my imaginary football team?" Do you think?
I'm going to take the word imaginary out of this again, Miles. But
okay,
yes,
fine,
I would.
Fine.
I'd approach the manager and say, I'd be very interested in that young player there.
What sort of offer are we looking at here to get this deal moving?
Yes. But I mean, from the Village Green, it's not going to take that much to persuade him to come.
No, a pint at the sports bar afterwards would probably do it, I reckon.
A team that's top of the Premier League. I mean, let's face it.
No, true. It doesn't take much temptation. Looking at the end of January, still top of the league by 2 points. You then draw with Man City 3-3.
Yeah.
City equalised in the 93rd minute, so a bit of a kick in the teeth there. Diego Tristan goal gets you a 1-0 win at home to Bolton.
Because that was the other thing about Diego Tristan. He didn't just score goals, he scored important goals.
You could rely on him to get a goal when you need it most, 0-0 at home to West Ham, but then a 4-0 victory over Southampton, and then a 2-2 draw with Chelsea. The team let a 2-goal lead slip in that one, apparently. Right, you're gonna have to explain this one. How on earth at 2-1?
Yes.
Figo has good goal disallowed. Now, how on earth do you decide a goal's been disallowed?
He was probably offside.
How though? you kick the foam football against a wall, and what? How?
No, I think he was offside. He would have been offside.
Obviously, offside.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. Yeah. No VAR in those days either.
If you think that the back line is the sofa, the line of the sofa.
Okay.
And when I kick the ball against the wall to produce the through ball, he would have gone too early and he would have passed the sofa line before receiving the ball, so he was offside.
Okay, this just all happened in your head, I assume.
No, Miles. You see, the thing is, you have to remember that I'm playing this game out.
Yeah, so
in my head. So the sofa line isn't the sofa line at all. It's the back four of the opposing team.
Yeah, sure. Okay, fine.
So if you imagine that my head is a whole series of Match of the Day cameras.
So you have got VAR in the sitting room for this offside call for Luis Figo.
Well, no, because VAR wasn't even thought of in those days, was it?
No, I suppose not.
No, I hate VAR anyway.
Yeah, I mean, VAR is ruining football,
digress into VAR.
I'm happy to digress into VAR.
For about the next 3 episodes of this.
Yeah. So for me, VAR, the trouble is that it completely takes away the spectacle of, especially like if your team scores the goal. Every time that happens now, I can't feel like I can celebrate properly because I think, oh no, VAR is going to somehow maybe put it back for
a fingernail.
Someone being half an inch offside, or like it brushing their arm in an unintentional way as they were running through or something. I don't know.
Yes. Because I mean, let's face it, the whole idea of football is to score goals.
Yeah.
So what's been happening, it seems to be over the last 3 or 4 years, is that football has been devising ever more intricate ways to find ways of disallowing goals. Isn't that counterproductive?
I know. I'd much rather VAR. I understand, the goal line technology thing. That's fine.
Yes.
And that's clear as day.
Yes. Well, I mean, and a lot of people use the Frank Lampard.
Against Germany.
Goal. To sanction all of the other stuff.
Yeah.
Well, goal line technology, definitely. I think there have been, over the years, historically, we've seen some really terrible decisions.
Well, there was a goal that was disallowed, I think, or something in the lower league game, where the ball actually did go in, but there was some sort of hole in the net and it flung out the net. And both the linesmen and the referee thought it went wide. So this team scored a goal and it was never given.
Yes.
And stuff like that is good for. Anywho, digression aside, 2-2 draw with Chelsea after the disallowed goal. Somehow, you're still top of the league by a point with 8 games left of the season, Bob.
Wow.
Arsenal behind you. You're on 64 points. Arsenal on 63.
Same number of games played?
Same number of games played. United on 61.
Tight, isn't
Everybody's played 30 games.
Yeah, where are Chelsea? They haven't
Chelsea
really yet come
are
into the...
6th.
Right.
As it stands on 49.
So what is the top 6 then?
It's North London, obviously. Yeah. Arsenal, Man United, Newcastle, Everton, and Chelsea. So this would have been one of
Newcastle. This would have been the Bobby Robson era,
and I suppose David Moyes would have been at Everton, helping them to overperform still at this point.
Yeah,
one of his good seasons.
Interesting, isn't it?
So 8 games left.
Yep,
a point ahead.
Yep.
Are you going to do it, Bob? Do you think you're going to manage to win the league?
I'd be surprised if we don't.
So next game, Birmingham away, a 1-1 draw. Zinedine Zidane in the 84th minute.
Okay.
It's the 4th draw in the last 6 league games.
We're dropping points.
You hit the woodwork 4 times in the last 10 minutes, apparently. So
this is the thing. Actually, I must be honest. We had a world record number of hitting the woodwork.
So if I remember...
Because I
was going to say,
the legs of the table were so wide.
Disproportionately.
You're going to hit them.
No, it's true. Yeah, like a coffee table with big, thick old legs. In fact, because this would have been one of the balls you were using, wasn't it? And they're not far off the width of the ball, are they? The legs
That's right.
The table.
So
we're showing, and for those listening,
ones
we're showing
were the ones that I would be playing with.
What size? Like a size 1.
The bigger one, the yellow one, which is behind there, would be the size I would be playing when I'm not feeling in quite such good form. But these, you really, I mean, I could really get some skill going with these.
But yeah, when you're face front of a table, the table legs actually were pretty much the same width as the ball, weren't they? So you are going to undoubtedly hit the woodwork a few times.
The goals that I love scoring more than any others were the ones, the almost the length of the hall.
Which is the equivalent of...
Well, from 30 yards, 30 yards out.
Absolute banger.
And you're coming out from the sitting room into the hallway. You are about 30 yards out. You're front on to the goal. And I managed to get it to go up, have a trajectory that a bit like the Roberto Carlos.
Okay, against France.
So literally, I could curve the ball and have it dip to crash into the underside of the bar and in.
Yes.
Now, when you got one of those right,
things you love
feeling
to see.
was just incredible.
So one more draw with Birmingham, followed up with a convincing 5-1 away at Middlesbrough. Diego Tristan with 2 goals again there. And then another draw at Everton, 1-1. Dylan Harris, my younger brother, with the goal in the 64th minute, which means 35 games played. Oh, okay, no, hang on. So United actually have played 35, but you've dropped down to 3rd. You do have 2 games in hand on United in 1st, and you're 5 points back. So, if you win the 2 games in hand, you'll go top of the league by a point. And
still in my hands.
And then Arsenal are 2 points ahead of you, and you've got 1 game in hand on them.
Wow!
So it's really tight, ladies and gentlemen.
This is an exciting finish.
What a run-in we've got here.
Yeah.
So the next game, away at Sunderland.
Okay.
Zinedine Zidane hat-trick makes it 3-0.
I was thinking
he stood up to be counted.
0-0 draw because Sunderland would have been so defensive against us.
Okay, next game, home at Spurs. Dylan, my younger brother, comes up with a massive winning goal in the 78th minute, and it's a 1-0 victory.
Right.
So there are 3 games left in the season now. You've got Liverpool at home, you've got Blackburn away, and you've got Newcastle at home in the final game of the season.
That's a big one.
Massive.
Yes.
Liverpool at home, 3-0 win. Fonseca, Zidane, and Figo with a convincing victory there.
Right.
Away at Blackburn, and it looks like a hard-fought 2-1. Henrik Larsson and Zinedine Zidane. So you go into the last game of the season,
surely
needing a win to win the league, basically, because as things have transpired.
Right.
So you're at home to Newcastle. At this point in the season, Bob, obviously you're going into the final game of the season. You know that you need a win to guarantee winning the league. And if you do get a win, if all the other teams win around you, you win the league by just a point.
Okay.
So you have to win, really.
Yes.
What's your team talk going into this game?
To literally treat it like any other match, that we're going to, it's in our hands, basically. And we're only top of the league at this moment because we've played well enough to be there. So if we continue to attack and have in our minds the whole idea that we're going to score goals, then we will. This is my feeling.
So you're playing Bazball.
So we're going to go out, we're going to take on the opposition, we're going to not worry in a way about the result even. We're just going to absolutely swamp. This is a phrase I use a lot in the team talks. We're going to swamp them. Newcastle. We're just going to go at them. and one of the things I loved about our approach in that respect, if you go through the goals scored in the season, Miles, and look at the time in the match that they were scored, see how often there's a very, very early goal within the first 10 minutes, let's say.
Well, you say that, Bob.
Right.
2nd minute against Newcastle, Zinedine Zidane makes it 1-0.
There we go, you see.
This is a mammoth last game of the season.
Yes.
Okay, so you need a win to win the league.
Yeah.
You're playing Newcastle at home, who actually themselves had a very good season. They're in 4th.
Yes.
The final score is Newcastle United 4, North London 5.
No! Wow. That's almost like the 8-7 against United.
I know. Wes Dexter pops up with a hat-trick when you need him most.
He's back.
45th, 51st and 59th minute. And Zinedine Zidane in the 88th minute wins the title for North London, who win the league over Man United by a single point, ladies and gentlemen. Amazing stuff.
That is.
You actually only lost twice all season. None at home, both away from home. A plus 57 goal difference. So you finished the season on 84 points. United on 83.
Wow. And how many goals did we score?
You scored 92.
92
goals at home and away. So fantastic stuff. The cup competitions.
Yes.
You were beaten finalists in the FA Cup.
Yep.
Beaten finalists in the League Cup.
Yes.
but you do win the Champions League as well. So
you got the double.
You've got the double. It's a fantastic season. Describe your feelings in the season, Bob. Euphoric way to end the season. 5-4.
That was, yes. Well, just imagine the fans. The fans went absolutely crazy in the last few minutes of that game against Newcastle. And the only thing about it, looking back on it, was it was a very demanding, draining season for the players because they played every single available match in all competitions right throughout the season. Yeah.
There's a theme going here. Yeah. I love how much this just is real to you.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So if you were to pick top scorer for that season, who would you say it would have been?
Diego Tristan.
Diego Tristan. Yeah. 44 in all competitions.
44, you see.
Oh, 27 in the Premier League.
Cristiano Ronaldo. Not quite Haaland, but not far off.
No. 27 in the Premier League, 13 in Europe, 4 in the various cup competitions.
13 in Europe.
Yeah, that is a smashing season.
Yeah.
Zinedine Zidane was your second top scorer with 25.
Right.
Pitching in with a lot from midfield. Figo with 21.
Yeah.
And then Giggs, Fonseca, Larson, and Ronaldinho all getting 11 goals.
Yeah.
So where's Dexter? He got 3 all season, and it was the hat-trick in the last game of the season.
Right, because he was injured.
So is it right? I'm sorry. Yeah. This is still the injury.
Absolutely. It was a bad foot injury. Yes, it was.
Sorry. It ruled him out for the whole season apart from the last game, and he comes back and scores a hat-trick.
Yeah.
Fairy tale ending, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely amazing. Yeah. So the toe stubbing in Portugal really did affect the whole season.
It was a big moment.
Unbelievable. So, Bob, 2002, 2003 seasons come to a close.
Yes.
Successful campaign, I would say.
2 finals, beaten finalists in both the domestic cups. Yeah. But a league and Champions League double.
Yeah.
It's not bad, is it?
Not bad. So going into next year, where do you reckon your head was in terms of who you're going to bring in, who you're going to get let go? Can you think about what was going on at that time?
No, not yet. The thing is that I always feel how important it is to kind of celebrate the success when you get it.
Players are off to... So Ronaldinho, he would have been brought back off loan from PSG just to instigate the party.
Yeah.
At the end of the Champions League win.
He'd be on the decks. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so the summer break is coming up.
Yep.
And now I think about what we're going to do next season.
Which we will find out next time here on A Game of No Halves. To everybody listening now, please go ahead and follow our socials. We'll be posting loads of stuff on social media. Amongst everything else, you'll be able to see in full detail all of these typed out statistics and the formations from this season. There'll be loads of behind the scenes content and all that sort of stuff as well. So please get in touch with us on there. We'd love to hear from you. And I guess until next time, we will be deliberating. We are the champions. Yes, we are. Europe and England conquered in one season.
Yeah.
And we'll be coming back for the 2003-2004 season with fresh signings, fresh faces. I'm very excited. Maybe we can go on and do the quadruple next year. Who knows?
It's an incredible prospect. Yeah.
I can't wait. Thanks, Bob. And thanks again for listening and watching. We'll see you for another episode of Game of No Halves.